Hello and welcome to the show. I am here on a Forza 6 with another silly car build. My vehicle today, it is the original almighty wing, the Bentley Continental GT. I like this car just for the crazy, well, the GT3 race version of it. And people wanted to see me have a go with this vehicle again. And I am curious to see how it will fare. First of all, of course, we must equip the full-on race kit for the car. I do have some parts bought for this vehicle. Yeah, I think I must have used it for some racing at some point somewhere. That is the original almighty wing on the Bentley. It's a crazy thing. It also means that we're going to have kind of two boats go one after the other in this series. Because last time I had with the Rolls-Royce Dawn. So yeah, this could go quite quick, because it is all-wheel drive, and the rules for this series are that I can swap the engines, but I'm not allowed to swap the drivetrains, so it shall remain as all-wheel drive. We shall get some race tyres on the vehicle, and we shall get some lovely large race tyres. 335s on the front is ginormous, and 335s on the rear. Often the all-wheel drive cars will have the same size tyres front and back. Wasn't quite sure on this one because of the giant tyres, but yeah, that's some pretty damn hefty tyres all around on this vehicle. Now we will be getting all of these bits and pieces. The big downside, of course, to the Bentley, similar downside that we had with the Rolls, is going to be the weight. Now, the Rolls-Royce could put its power down to the road pretty damn well. You know, it wasn't four-wheel drive, no, but it could get the power down onto the road without too much in the way of problem. The issue that the Rolls had is that it simply couldn't carry the corner speed. Now, the hope is that this will be able to put its power down even better, and be able to carry more quarter speed as well. Possible problems are, well, with such a huge amount of weight, is going to be, well, could potentially be quite understeery, and that could be made worse by the fact that it is all-wheel drive. We're down to 4,000 pounds. I believe it is fractionally lighter, possibly, than the Rolls. We've got some bits on here that may save some weight, and may add some weight as well. We'll see what it ends up as power-wise. I'm not actually sure how much the Bentley can get. I'm assuming it's going to be a fair amount in this. Well, I'm assuming we're going to have a fairly hefty amount of horsepower in this vehicle. Ooh, we save £100 with the exhausts. But when we come to the likes of turbos and intercoolers and whatnot, that weight's going to go right back on. PI-wise, we're far higher than we had with the Rolls, but that's perhaps not too surprising. One thing that we have kind of noticed on the most part, all-wheel drive cars, because of their sort of initial launch acceleration, the PI does tend to shoot up quite quickly for vehicles like that. And plus, when you've got one with as giant of tyres as we have in this Bentley. Right, turbos. Can we have... Oh, thank you! I was going to say, can we have plenty of power? That's a lot of power. 270 horsepower from the twin turbos. We are over 1,000 horsepower in the Bentley, almost at 900 foot-pounds of power. We're now past 900 foot-pounds of torque. That's a lot of power. This is a very, very powerful vehicle, this one. I don't remember it getting this much power. Maybe it did. Maybe it did on Forza 5. It's a monstrously powerful car, which is good. 1,073 horsepower, 914 foot-pounds of torque. Hey, we just get it under 4,000. Just 3,999 pounds in the almighty wing. If we have good handling, and I'm kind of hoping we will, of course, with that wing creating a huge amount of downforce in the giant tyres, maybe this could go very quick, or it could be quite understeery and boat-like. Of course, to test out the Bentley, I have brought it to the Virginia International Raceway, where it will have 5 laps to try and go as fast as possible. Our current leader is the Dodge Charger Hellcat with a lap time of 1:10.5. 5. And the Charger was a pretty damn good car to drive, surprisingly good handling. The Bentley, well, we have certainly got the power. We have the almighty wing as well, and we may well have the traction, the four-wheel drive. It's all going to come down to, can we get almost 4,000 pounds of Bentley to navigate its way through the very tight technical sections of this track. That launch is impressive. That launch is is probably the only 1,000 horsepower vehicle you will be able to just floor it off the line on the wet circuit. There was just no wheel spin at all. That is what four-wheel drive and this size of tyres will do for a vehicle. And handling, pretty damn good. There is, there is some understeer. It's not quite as agile as the Charger. I know that is a strange thing to say, but you know, we are comparing a Bentley to the Charger Hellcat here. The Charger definitely felt a little bit better through the turns, felt a little more lively, and yeah, there was certainly less understeer from that. The thing is, though, there is absolutely no oversteer whatsoever from the Bentley. You can just nail the throttle out of every single corner, and the car is absolutely fine. That is, yeah, that's quite damn impressive. Yes, I know it is four-wheel drive and everything, but there's just not even the slightest bit of oversteer from this car. It is perfectly happy to be planted on the road, and holy crap, I've just seen the lap time we've done. That's from a standing start. It has gone quicker than the Rolls-Royce Dawn. This may be... Oh, if I can not... Oh, we're going to play in the... I was still distracted by that bloody opening lap time. This may set a benchmark really quite a long way ahead of everything else. I was not expecting as good a handling from this. It is a little bit more understeery than the Hellcat, yes, but it's still very, very good. It's not horrible and wallowy through these turns. It's so much better than the Rolls-Royce. The Rolls-Royce wasn't actually that bad, you know, in terms of traction and whatnot, but this is so much better through the turns, and then there is absolutely nothing in the way of oversteer. So once you've got it slowed down for a corner, it's about halfway around that corner, you can boot it. It will absolutely fly out of these turns. Okay, let's not mess up the opening corner this time around. Let's not mess up kind of turn 2, 3, 4-ish area. How fast do we actually get? I was busy looking at the lap time. I didn't actually see how fast we get in a straight line. It is pretty good, 173 miles an hour as I jump on the brakes for this first corner. Yeah, that's up there with the other fast cars. It's not quite as quick as the Jaguar D-Type. That's perhaps not too surprising. I mean, the D-Type was a monstrously fast car overall, and while it did struggle massively putting its power down out at the final corner, it's yeah, it's not quite half the weight of this car, but it's not far off it, and it had more power. So yeah, it's perhaps not too surprising that it is quicker, but this is really quite close, and it's all to do with that four-wheel drive traction as you fire it out of, especially out of that final corner, but everywhere around this track, it can do impressive speeds because of it. And yeah, the weight and the bulk of the Bentley isn't enough to cause it problems, not like we saw with the Rolls-Royce. Okay, out of this final turn once more, using as much speed as we can. Bloody hell, that is a fast lap time from the Bentley. That is a very absurdly quick lap time from this car. Okay. Yeah, that is mighty. That's a really quick lap time, almost as mighty as the wing on the back of this vehicle. I had some slight fears initially of revisiting using the Bentley, using the almighty wing for a silly car build, because I feared that perhaps the four-wheel drive on the wet circuit may be a tad overpowered. I changed my mind. So the Rolls-Royce struggle. You know, we had some four-wheel drive cars that struggled a little bit. In sort of in the previous one and so on, I thought, oh, we'll give the Bentley a try. Oh, I've completely buggered it all up on my own accord there. Yeah, I thought perhaps, you know, the weight might cause issues, and the nature of this circuit was such a technical opening section thought, well, maybe that'll even things out. It doesn't. It really doesn't. The other vehicles have struggled just as much with understeer, with the exception of the Hellcat. They've struggled quite a lot with getting around the opening turns, and this has got so much traction out of the corners that it can more than make up for it. It can use its 1,000 horsepower absolutely everywhere on the circuit, and that is a seriously impressive feat. It's whatever corner it is coming out of, you can boot it and it's off. It will find plenty of grip to launch the car towards the next section. Yeah, as I said, there is a tad bit of understeer around here that you've got to be aware of. Once you've got the hang of it, though, it is, perfectly manageable and very fast. I may have messed up this sort of chicane bit there ever so slightly. Yeah, I knew I had a little bit. Can we? Oh, I'm trying to push my luck more and more around here. Take any more speed through there? No, probably 90 is about all we can do, but once we have got it around that turn, it's again full throttle in the Bentley and around this final corner for the almighty wing as we run towards the line. I might have short shifted a little bit from third to fourth there. Yeah, I ran a little too wide into the chicane. Messed up towards the end of the under the lap. It's not going to matter though, because we have got that 108.4 from the Bentley. That's damn fast. Yeah, the kind of the extra weight, the extra size, and the four-wheel drive does create perhaps a little bit of understeer, but it's more than good enough through the turns to keep up with everything else. And then that amazing traction means that as soon as you can get out of a corner, it will put its power down better than everything. Pretty much. It'll put its power down so much better than every other vehicle. The almighty wing is very good. The almighty wing is very good indeed, and it will go top of the table. It's 2 seconds a lap quicker than the Charger. This might be quite a tough benchmark for anything to go faster than. Yeah, it turns out the Bentley is really rather good. Well, it is now time to find out just how quick it will go in a straight line. And that, of course, means heading to the Le Mans circuit. Now, the Bentley does not have the most power of the vehicles that we have built for this, so it's not likely to challenge the very top of the table. We should probably see speeds in excess of 240. I was going to say 230, but yeah, sure, we'll go with 240. That works for me. We can't do anything about the front. We can take aero off the back of the car. 248 miles an hour. It does have 8 gears. I thought it did, judging by how short first, second gear ratios were. The other almighty wing, the Peugeot 205, did 231 miles an hour. There we go. So this will still be the faster. Well, hopefully. I can't imagine you could have too much trouble beating 231 with this kind of a benchmark performance. This should become the rightful fastest of the almighty wings. Right. Yeah. Okay. So it does get a small amount of wheel spin in first. And then once you get up into second, it immediately gets traction. Yeah, it's very good at dealing with all of the power and still being a good enough handling car through the turns to challenge the other vehicles. Are we going to? Oh, there is a tiniest bit of oversteer through there as I turned in. That's, about the only time amusingly, there's almost more oversteer. I think it's because it's a little bit bumpy around here. There's almost more oversteer here than there was in the wet. Right, we should probably not have that many issues with the Bentley across the bumps. Nope, we really do not particularly, as we now head on to the straight. It's not going to be the fastest car to reach 200 miles an hour. I mean, cars have hit 200 before they've made it around that corner before. It does pull quite nicely at 220 miles an hour. We are getting up towards and surpassing the 205 as we get to 235 miles an hour. Come on, We were looking at 248. I'm not quite sure. I think we might run out of straight with this car. 242, 43. Another mile an hour would be nice. 244. Anything left? Nope. Nope. 244 was all the Bentley could do. About the most composed vehicle I think I've ever had around that kink. We've had so many cars have big problems at that part of the track. Oh, we might not quite stop though. Oh no, we're fine. We're fine. We've used a little bit of the escape road, but may have been a little late with the braking there. Yeah, that was incredibly composed across the bumps. We've had a lot of cars have some really very big issues at that section. Even some cars that you wouldn't expect to have issues there have got unhappy, have spun, have clonked the wall on the outside. The Bentley, it got a little bit bumped on the way in because of there are plenty of bumps at that part. It got one felt like a fairly hefty bump, but it was perfectly easy to get it back under control again. Yeah, this is a damn good car. This is a really very good vehicle. Fantastic handling and can make use of all 1,000 horsepower. Brakes, perhaps not the most powerful things in existence on here, no, but still pretty damn good for getting this amount of Bentley slowed down. So yeah, I am thoroughly impressed with the almighty wing. Its straight line speed will put the car into a joint 8th place with the Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. I'm fairly sure that was a NASCAR engine Trans Am. Also achieved 244 miles an hour. The Bentley does beat the Dodge Daytona Ford GT40, the Porsche 356A, that was crazy wheeling monstrosity of a Porsche. However, it gets beaten by the Maserati Birdcage, the Mercedes C63, and the BMW 1M, and some of the really very high-end cars as well. Yeah, it's a solid, certainly a very solid straight line speed. Composure in the Bentley is incredible across the bumps and around a circuit. It handles so very well, and then has all of the traction to go with it. That yeah, it's really rather good vehicle. Anyway, that is it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.